Three cowboys.
What did you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about what we kind of just touched on about when you put it like this, it seems like quite a big concept, but where you and I see the world going from our perspective, because this is something you kind of like focus in on quite a lot, right?
Yeah, way too much. I'm constantly, even if I'm watching a film or I'm looking at advertising and stuff like that, I for some reason I'm like looking at the greater picture of where that story's coming from, like if it's a film, and like there is some element of possibility in there, and I just take it that next step and I'm really focused on it, like how could that happen in today's world? And it doesn't seem that dystopian as I would hope it would be.
So give us an example of like one of these occasions.
Like what, when I'm thinking about it?
Yeah, like when something hits you, like when you're watching it,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh shit, that's not that far away.
Like there was a film about nuclear war, and it was like just like the nukes have gone off and like
The bloody nukes have gone off.
oh god. And you know, like the effect it had on the world. It was just like a sci-fi stupid movie, but
Right.
like
Who was in it? This sounds bizarre.
I think it was on Netflix or something. I don't know, but yeah, and I'm like thinking, okay, whatever. Then nukes, yeah, we have a lot of them. Yeah, it's happened before. How much pain has it caused or whatever? And then I'm just thinking about it, like fucking like, wow, like we are surrounded by these fucking things, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just a very narrow part of where my brain goes when I'm watching things like this.
Yeah, because I'm fascinated by like, because then when I think about you focusing in on it too much, then I start to think, why don't I focus in on that enough? I go to the level of like, is this all I'm doing with my life? A lot of the time.
Yeah, okay.
But then you go to the next level and you're like, we're all fucked.
Yeah, I go there a lot.
So then that gets me thinking, like, are people just so busy with their lives in this, like, whatever it is, this rat race, or it doesn't even have to be that, but just caught up in what's going on in their life, that they never take a step back, like you're taking a step back? Or are you just clinically insane?
I don't know. What do you think?
The latter.
Do you reckon?
No, I honestly, I think people don't have enough opportunity to take a step back.
Right, okay.
But then you do seem to be in a position where you worry a lot about these things, and I'm just interested to know why.
Yeah, I don't know why it is. I think I've always had it. Like since I was a young kid, I was always worried about.
Oh, really?
Like natural disasters and sort of like.
Really?
Man, when it used to rain and it used to get a bit like if it went a couple of inches off the floor and stuff, I used to start freaking out, man.
No way.
So I'm just going, where does it go from here?
I thought it was when you started smoking weed.
Oh no, man! It's been like it my whole life. My whole life, I just.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
But my whole life I've thought like.
God.
Man, I'm telling you, man, since a young kid, and I've had to like digest pretty heavy shit as a young kid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like there, and I'm thinking like, yeah, it did stop there, but one day it's not.
Next time.
Yeah, or one day it's not.
And you were thinking this as a young kid.
Yeah, man.
You've lived like
I've very
4 people's lives in the space of 27
Stressed,
years. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, okay, right. So who's like, even with houses, like when I'm doing around the house and it's like just wood timber frames and stuff like that, and you're just like, are you not like thinking about this a bit more, or like just little stuff like that, things like this? Like, have you seen what happens when the gas things explode? Like the gas pipeline explodes. Just like
a massive explosion
in every single house, just boom, 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 boom,
yeah,
boom, boom,
yeah.
boom, boom,
Oh, wow,
and stuff like that. It's just like, and I'm looking
you'll
like,
start freaking me out.
and I'm just sitting there like, okay, has my house got one of those things in it? Okay, it does. So that is possible. Do you know
So
what
I'm
I mean?
basically dead.
Man, if I'm not sleeping right next to the but yeah, that's how I think. That's how I've always thought, man. I've always
I've got
freaked
all of this
myself out
activity.
over things, and sometimes it's been really good. Like I can really like grab like an idea of something and be like, okay, like whatever. But as I've got older, it sounds weird because I've never really watched many of it before, but I can see myself becoming a bit more of a prepper. And,
Really?
you know, you look at preppers like when I was growing up and I was watching YouTube channels, I'd be like, oh, this guy's prepping, he's got his food stocked up for 5 years and he's got a little bunker and stuff like that. And I think that's just stupid.
Yeah, I used to think they were just nutters.
But the world has gone a bit more crazy now.
Yeah.
The floor's a bit wobbly. And everyone's sort of like balancing just slightly. Everyone's a bit on edge. Everyone's like fucking, and cyber attacks are happening.
Yeah.
Supply chains are going down. Fucking things aren't looking that stable at the moment.
They're not.
And like as I've like especially the last few years, I'm starting to look around like if things do go a bit sideways, like when coronavirus first hit and everyone was struggling to think, that is a glimpse of the world that happens when something serious does happen.
Yeah.
And as things are becoming a bit more technological, things are getting a bit more hackable, whatever.
Yeah.
Things like it doesn't take long for things to go upside down, and that's how I've been looking at things recently. I've been really like, because the world is becoming really different so quickly. You're like, okay, like maybe it is a good idea to be quite prepared here.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't hold up when something tragic happens.
Yeah.
And not a lot takes for it. So that's what I've been thinking. I've never thought of myself as a prepper or anything, but I'm definitely will do now.
And it's like, yeah, those people that you thought were nutters, like,
they're the ones in the movies that survive.
Yeah, there may come a time where you're like, shit, we should have listened to Thingy. He's in the forest right now. But I always looked at you and Jess and thought, oh yeah, they'll prep.
Yeah, maybe it's just been within us. Maybe my dad's installed it and stuff.
Yeah.
But
probably started from travelling. But tell me again about that, because we were having like a conversation about you looking into different countries more and like this whole concept of World War III maybe not being so much of an impossibility anymore. And then you described it to me in a way which I had never even kind of thought about.
What did I say?
You said about the like the way in which warfare would happen. It wouldn't be straight up kind of like war as we know it. Kind of gunfire.
Yeah, it won't be any of that going on.
Yeah.
Or maybe there'll be a very small amount, and maybe like special operations and stuff like that. They'll be like taking out certain
little
people.
militias and whatever.
Yeah, I feel like that will happen a lot in the future.
Yeah.
Because it's happening a lot right now. We just don't know about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the next world war isn't going to be anything like we know. We've got these whole brand new tools that we haven't even tried out yet. Do you know what I mean? Like we've got drones, we've got fucking controlled things and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Or like we've got some robots that you can just put into the middle of a thing and they could just take a few shots, way more than a human and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's all controlled. Right, I'm going way in too deep and I'm jumping right.
No, I know what you mean though, because you can weaponize it.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't even used these things yet, or we have, but behind closed doors. So each country now needs to find out who's really running this shit.
And you think like the Russias and the
Chinas,
they're
I think
already...
America's doing a lot. I think they're doing a lot with nukes
surely.
and stuff because they've killed that Iranian guy because the conspiracy behind it is because he opened up a new nuclear weapons department and he was spending loads of money on it, and so they said we can't have him anymore. Right. So, I can't remember who it was. I think it's the UN or someone like that has pronounced the internet as warfare, as a battleground.
Oh right.
Like they've come out and said, people are targeting each other. We've watched.
Countries are targeting each other. You mean?
Yeah,
right.
And I think a lot of it's going on right now within social media and stuff like that.
So like similar to what they did in that 2016 election,
yeah,
Trump Clinton.
But not even that. It's just like if you wanted to destroy democracy right now, I think they're doing a pretty good job of it right now.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely like polarized the different sides, hasn't it, and kind of like turn people against each other. Exactly. But what interested me most about what you were saying is the way you would go about kind of attacking another country wouldn't be it'd be very, I don't know.
Tactical.
Yeah, I don't know if covert's the right word, but it wouldn't be as in your face as like dropping bombs or sending troops out on the ground, blah blah blah. It would be like you were saying, like switching off grids and stuff.
Yeah, and they'll be like, oh, I don't know who done that.
Yeah.
But maybe that was an important area or something that you needed to control at a certain time, and then they've just wiped it out. Do you know what I mean? But, like, we're laughing, yeah? But these things are happening.
I'm laughing at your impression, just imagining this really camp, like...
We just gone through it. But, listen, like, as crazy as that sounds, and people will probably listen to this and go, yeah, but you know, that's not going to happen, is it? But it is happening. This is how people in very high positions are genuinely thinking. If you're an army veteran and you're looking, and now that you've got the internet declared as a battleground,
you're going to fire some shots off.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to test things, and you're going to see what's going on.
Yeah, of course.
That's just what's going on. And America's having a bad hit at the moment because they're being, with their pants down, they're saying, hey, you guys aren't fucking all tested up as we thought you were. That's what's happening. It's not, there's a fucking, something's gone down in the securities board. No. Like, come on, man. When was the last time that happened? Never.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man. Like, I never... I'm getting quite brown. I never... like think too deep into these things, so that when you come out with things, it gets me thinking. My mind just goes like so many different ways.
Man.
But like we both seem to like converge at the same point in whatever that weird journey is.
Like what the solution is.
Yeah, and for us personally, I guess.
Yeah.
Like we don't have a fucking solution for humanity. I think that point's been and gone. But and it's kind of along the lines of prepping, right? It's kind of going off grid, and it's an idea that we both want to explore more, maybe for different reasons. I guess from my position, I want to do it because I feel like that would be me experiencing life how I kind of imagine it. If I take a step back and think, what do I want to look back on, not in terms of achievements, but in terms of how I live my life, off-grid is as close as can be to like this best idea of a fucking like a nomad that, you know, you've gone and seen all the different corners of the world and experienced different things, blah blah blah, and you just have different stories. Whereas I'm not interested in this kind of like material, oh yeah, but we've got a couple of houses and like it doesn't really do anything for me. So that's where I kind of arrive at off-grid. But you come at it from like an additional way, right, on top of that.
I just think the best way forward is to have 2 feet in each. I know it's like, that's what everyone says, hey, that's when you need to jump ship, or you need to, that's not a good idea.
1 foot in each.
1 foot in
Yeah,
each.
yeah,
So
okay.
Is that
I'm
what
with
I
you.
said? Sorry.
You said 2 foot in each.
1 foot in each. So I think if you can generate a slight income, or you had some sort of equity within the grid,
Yeah.
or within the city or something, then it's just like an additional lifeline. Because once you've got all your eggs in this basket, once you go off grid, there really isn't any turning back. And I know that sounds like a bit of a cop-out, but I just like to be prepared. And like, that's what I'm finding out more and more recently as I'm the last few years, what things get a bit crazy. I like to be prepared. So if I wanted to, I could live within this world, and if it's getting too much, I can go off, I can get into there, I can stay off grid, I can live that life for however long, but I can still generate an income, because we're going to need an income as well, you know. And I'm sure you can do other things, but what about if you have kids and the kids want to go there? Or
that's where my mind always goes, because I like, having kids is definitely something that is high on my list of things that I want to do. So I always kind of think, but if it's 10 years down the line and like my kids need to start going to school or something, or just being social, is us being off grid like the best possible solution for them? I'm not too sure. Unless we formed a fucking cult and
Mate,
they
that's
can...
what I would love to do, man.
Yeah.
I genuinely would, not a cult.
Okay, yeah, great.
I would like a small community, like a little
Yeah.
village.
Mate, this is why I said those storage containers. Imagine a little storage container community just in the middle of nowhere.
Man, that's what I fucking on YouTube all the time, fam. I'm on this thing. Nah, seriously, I'm fucking watching videos. There's this woman who has built tiny homes, and she's got like 10 of them on like a small plot of land, and then she just rents them
really?
out to Airbnb, so she's getting income from them. But if anyone wants to stay there, could then have her own little community.
Yeah.
Little community there, and everyone's doing their bit and whatever. And then you've things.
How do you not get the weirdos in that community though?
Oh, man, it's so hard because I think.
What should you do? Do you have a little induction and just say, I don't think this is the right fit for you?
Yeah,
there's a community down the road there. You can do that one.
You would just have to talk to people first and say, hey, listen, like we don't think you're the right fit for this.
Strong vetting process, yeah. Yeah, but that would be amazing. Yeah, it must have sparked when you showed me one of those tiny homes, and it was a woman that had she had 2 storage containers for her and her husband, and then there was one that was
Modern
like a
one.
guest room.
Yeah.
And it was like a garage door at the front or something,
Yeah,
so they could look out across this Utah desert. And I was looking at it like, fucking hell, yeah.
Man, it's not hard.
You can live like that, and it's perfectly adequate.
I've been watching this couple on fucking YouTube. They had no experience of doing things before. It's taken them 3 years, but they're still not finished yet. But they've got 2 containers, and then they've built around it, so it's like it looks like a house from the outside, pretty much.
Right.
It's massive, not massive. Don't get me wrong.
Not massive.
It's pretty big, man, for a house out there. Two containers.
Oh, like one here, one here.
Yeah, one here, and then they've created
You can stack them as well, right?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. But that looks so much. That looks cool, man. That is so enticing to me.
Even the process is enticing to me. Like you say, fucking hell, it's taken them 3 years, but what a fucking 3 years that must have been.
You're building your house.
How sick is that? And you know that at the end of it, you're self-sustainable, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's...
They've got all their solar panels, they've got a vegetable patch, they've got...
that's
I think
incredible.
they might have pigs.
Right.
As well. So, they can just... that is how you're meant to live, I think. Or it's better for me than living somewhere in the middle of the city.
Do you know what? I blew my own mind a little bit the other day. I was thinking about... I can't remember what sparked it, but it was I think I was thinking about an ex, and I don't know why. And then I was like, what did she do? And I was like, fuck, she did some sort of marketing or something. And then I was like, fuck, I clearly wasn't interested in what she was telling me, because I don't remember what she did. She must have said, how it was work or whatever, and she told me a little bit about it, but I just can't remember. And then I was thinking obviously in an ideal situation you'd find somebody that's compatible, that you would be doing a kind of similar line of work with, because that obviously shows that you're both aligned in terms of personality as well. And then I was like, fuck, if you go way, way, way back, how weird of a concept is it to think that you've got 2 people that are together, one of them's working in one industry and one of them's working in another, and they both come back together at the end of the day. If you go way back, they were both fucking working the same thing. They were both on the farm. They were both, I don't know, working a store that they owned as a family. And now all of a sudden it's I work in marketing, I do this, this and this. And you just zone out, you're I don't fucking care. And then they're what do you do? Oh, I work in the charity sector. They're oh, what's that like? It's there's just no parallels to draw here. How weird is that?
That's so crazy. I've never thought about that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've changed a lot, man. And our social dynamics have completely changed.
Yeah.
In such a short period of time.
Yeah, blink of an eye.
Man. But yeah, this idea of going off grid is definitely something that's much more attractive now. than it ever has been, and I think it's because you're a lot more free.
Yeah, it's the freedom. You're right, definitely.
The only other way to get that much freedom is to become a billionaire.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, you have a lot more, you can do more, but
Yeah.
it depends what interests you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but then that greed comes with it. Like, it's inevitable that that financial incentive will just breed and manifest as greed.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're involved in all sorts. All of a sudden you're involved in, what was it? Bill Gates fucking caused coronavirus. something like that. I don't know. But you're involved in politics. You're just involved in everything, right? And you're trying to grow this thing bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's great for some people, but from my perspective, I don't think I'd enjoy that. I don't think you would.
No.
We say this because we're broke as shit, so we're like, oh yeah, it looks like a shit life.
It's obviously it's nice to have financial freedom, but what comes with that is like a lot of overhead.
But that's the point, isn't it? Is that you can have financial freedom still without having to make billions. If you're living off grid and you had money coming in, like you said,
that's what I would like.
Yeah. And what do you think it is about? So we talk about these people that have renovated a van and gone off travelling, or building their container homes, and it's taken 3 years, and they've all taken the jump. It's their first time, they're doing it. They've just gone all in together. What do you think has been stopping us from going all in? Do you think it's a comfort thing?
It's definitely a comfort thing, and it's also, you can't see their end result because it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
You know, like you make your house, you make your land, and then what? Do you know what I mean? We have constantly got in our heads, hey, we need to get better, we need to get bigger, we need to get better and stuff, and that's hard to get rid of. And if you just accept, like, yeah, I've done my stuff and I'm in this place now, I can chill out. Like, I think for me that's quite hard, because that's the thing that pulls me back. So I'm like, no, I want to fucking maybe achieve some things. That's where greed gets in.
Yeah.
But I guess you could do that with a side bit. Like, you could have like a passion project where you could just do whatever you want. That's what you would need to do if you went and lived there and stayed out there. You'd have to have some sort of passion project giving you maybe a little bit of income.
Well, I mean, that would be ideal if your income came from the thing that you're most passionate about. Obviously, that's what everyone dreams of, but that's like quite a clear route towards that goal.
Yeah, but like in this day and age, everybody is forced to do jobs that they don't particularly want to do. So wouldn't you rather be living off grid where everything's a bit more simple? You haven't got all the worries of I've got to get a new car and all this stuff or whatever it is, but you're able to do what you fucking want to do and you're really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I think that's becoming more and more sought after in recent years. I think just the human experience is changing so much.
Yeah.
And it's so, literally, like we're saying, it's a blink of an eye ago that it was very uncomfortable compared to what we're in now. And I think our bodies are just craving it.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that our brains are craving it. I don't think this is just brand new. Like, you can't adapt that quickly.
Yeah.
And I feel like we should go back ever so slightly and take this life on a bit slower. Because it's like when you look back on things, you always go, oh, fucking shouldn't have rushed through it and stuff. Let's take it a little bit slower. I think that's the appeal to a lot more people now, but especially with coronavirus coming in, because everyone's taking a step back and be like, oh, okay, I'm whatever now.
Yeah. It's like the comfort of our lives is almost starting to become uncomfortable. Like, it's producing a couple of things that are actually
counterproductive.
Yeah, and to the detriment of the kind of wider population. But like, this is what we were saying earlier. So you're saying a lot of people have realised this and they're kind of taking a step back and things like that. But there are also a lot of people that are secretly loving this situation.
Yeah.
And they're locked up in their houses. They're self-isolating when it fits them. And they've realised that the life they had prior to coronavirus was very much uncontrolled from their perspective. They had to go here because so-and-so said so.
Right.
They had to go and do this, blah, blah, blah. Now everything's in their own little domain. And I feel like they've got this tight grasp on it. And these are the people that are saying, no, we should stay locked down. Obviously, that's a generalisation. And there are people out there that are genuinely worried and things like that.
I think you're right. I think you're majority right. I don't think the majority of people in this world are genuinely scared of coronavirus.
It seems so strange to me that it could be such a 50-50 split that people are still saying, no, we need to stay.
You walk down the road, everybody's got a mask off, everybody's having fun, people are chilling and stuff, but then as soon as you go to the news, or as soon as you go on social media, they're just raving about it, and someone, oh, stay away from me, or whatever. Yeah. It's like, that's what's on that little phone of yours isn't what's really happening in the real world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's creating like this two world sort of situation where which one should make decisions.
Yeah, and that in itself is you're putting people against each other by putting them in this position of choose one side or the other.
And there's another way our society could break down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have I just jumped off the top?
No, I'm just thinking about it, processing
that's another way that our society could be broken down, you know, people fucking turn against each other for dumb things.
Yeah.
Then you get a little civil
that's
war
not
going
that
on.
far away.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's really not.
And that's what I'm thinking, that I think the best thing to do right now is to prepare.
And
I'm fucking genuinely serious about this. Like, guys, like, if you're listening to this, man, like, have a little look at what's going on around the world. Like, you've got a weather crisis, you've got cybersecurity attacks, you've got grids going down. This doesn't just stop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not how life works.
Shit, do you reckon in World War III someone's gonna figure out how to use weather against another country?
Yeah, they are doing that.
Oh fuck! Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
How?
It's the salt in the air or whatever, isn't it? I don't know how they do it, but there's
you've convinced me.
Some sodium thing, and they release it, and it just can change the weather.
Who's doing this?
Yeah, man.
Is it?
Yeah, in Dubai it rains every Thursday night at a certain time.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, 'cause they're in the middle of the desert. You didn't know this?
No.
See, man, you gotta know these things,
I'm
man.
I'm not on any kind of media though, am I?
No.
Kind of off grid already,
Yeah,
mate.
but
Kind of beating you to the punch.
I'm not looking at Instagram for that thing. I just YouTube that shit.
What, YouTube Dubai rain Thursday?
I watch a lot of documentaries, man,
Yeah.
about real world, real life shit, what it's like in other countries right now. And it doesn't look good, man. It doesn't look good in some places.
Fuck.
Like, we're going to be, like, effectively the last ones to get hit because we are so built up compared to everyone else. Like, in the, like, supply chains and stuff like that. But, like...
You mean the UK?
Yeah.
Right.
And America, all the big
Western,
big countries, even China, Russia and stuff like that. But all those little countries that haven't got that much power, they might get left behind a little bit.
It's almost like the poverty gap, just nations instead of like people and populations.
Oh, it's going to hit here as well, man.
Wow.
It's going to be a massive divider between the people that have and the people that have not. And it's going to be a massive divide. I think so anyway. It's like the only way it's going. Like, if you want to get by nowadays, like, it's hard, man. Like, is it like if you can't just be a normal person, no degree, you've got maybe done a course in this and that. If you just want to get by, it's tough, man.
Yeah, you really have to buy into something, don't you?
Yeah, and you need to fucking go for it, fucking as hard as you possibly can to get lucky. And like, if you're just one of those people that are at the bottom of society and you haven't got that much money, like,
you're a little grunt.
Like, it's not too much longer until there's a lot more of those people compared to the people that are living in their mortgage-free houses, chilling out, fucking doing what they want.
So what's stopping you from doing this fucking container off-grid thing right now?
I haven't got the money. That's the thing. It takes money to do it, and like, yeah, that's all it is pretty much. I would love to do something like that. I need to know a lot more, and what I want to do in this fucking podcast I want to speak to people that have already done it, man, and I want to speak to people that are going through the process. Like, I was on Instagram last night, and there's this girl called, I can't even remember what her name was, but Creative Explorer or something like that, exploring creative, and I don't think she did it herself, but she done up a van.
Right.
I think her dad helped her or something like that, and she done up this van, proper nice, fucking electrics in there, everything that's beautiful. She just went to the Swiss Alps, like, just went skiing, and then she got stuck there because of coronavirus, and now she's just travelling around in a van.
Yeah.
And it just looks amazing, man. She's making, like, she's got about 100,000 followers or something. She's she's obviously making a little bit of money from it.
Yeah.
Like, because she only has a van, she doesn't need to be making millions. Do you know what I mean?
That's exactly the point. Yeah, you don't need this fucking greed.
This is what I want to speak to people about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see what's it like, man, on a day-to-day basis. I want to know what you're doing when you wake up. How do you do your laundry? How do you fucking...
Yeah.
Like, what do you do if you haven't got any money? Because, like, we don't have any money. Like what happens?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do you do? Like, where are you camping up? Has anything dangerous happened? Or I really want to speak to, especially her. She's a young girl, blonde girl, fit, fucking in the middle of fucking...
Hidden agenda here.
Nearly girlfriend, mate. But yeah, she's just living the life just however she wants. It's amazing.
This, like, why I messaged you the other day saying, fucking, what about this? We just get a motorhome and travel from the top of North America to the bottom of South America. I was, like, thinking this exact same thing, man. If we were able to get everything sorted in terms of the electrics we needed to do what we wanted to do this, keep putting shit out, keep putting content out, keep learning, keep just trying new things. If we had that, but we were able to just go wherever we wanted, how sick would that be?
Man, that is the exact... Who wouldn't want that life,
Yeah.
man? I know there's a lot of people out there that would love to do that. And I think there's a lot more than what people think. Because there's a lot of people alone right now, and they're also having the same thoughts that I'm having. Probably nowhere near as in depth, but they're definitely thinking, like... Or maybe they're not even thinking it, but they've definitely had the thought in the back of their head saying, like, an alarm go off, going
subconscious, this isn't right.
A bit one of them ones. Oh shit, that was a close miss, wasn't it? Oh shit, whoa, like dodging an asteroid. Do you know what I mean? What do? You just sit there and wait for it to? Oh, maybe one will hit us. Or do you fucking go and nuke the bitch up?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I like that. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I think there's a lot of people out there that are starting to realise.
There must be. Do you think there's like a growing population of those sort of people?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, all the people that are having tiny homes, all the people that are going off grid, like, it's a popular thing now on Netflix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With container homes on YouTube, they're massive.
Yeah.
They get millions of views all the time. And, like, yeah, people are looking for this, man.
It's incredible. Genuinely is, like, the people just jumping in both feet. They fucking come from a job in the city or whatever, and it's completely alien to them, and they've just gone for it. Like, that's amazing.
Have you seen Ben Fogle's thing on TV?
I still haven't, no.
Oh yeah, of course. Man, like, the amount of people that he goes around to, like, there was a couple in New Zealand, never done any sort of hard work before.
This is the thing, you can just adapt, yeah.
They had a lot of money, though, to be fair. They had a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's other people that he goes and sees and they're living rough.
Shit,
man. Yeah, like, you want, like, if you're gonna do it, you don't want to live in a hole. Do you know what I mean? We're not at that point yet where it's like, right, we have to fucking eat over the fire every day. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to go get our water from the river. Do you know what I mean? It's not that. Yeah, like, but we at the point now where things are just a bit too much.
Yeah.
If we could just take them back a little bit, get a nice place, feel comfortable in there, still modernish or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Container home.
That's the thing, cause that's what always jars me, because I'm, in terms of like design and stuff, I like quite modern, like quite Scandi type of vibe.
Yeah, you still get it. I cure it up.
Get it. So then I'm always like, you just, when you say off grid or whatever, you do envision that fucking, you know, that little shanty town or whatever, that little like bus that's under the ground that somebody's dug out or whatever.
It's not like that, though.
It's not like that.
Is it? It's really not.
And it doesn't have to be. It's just down to you to make it how you want it.
And like, I watched this one where it was in America, and this couple, right, they built a house in the middle of the land, so it was a bit of raised ground, and it was overlooking. It's in America. Land is cheap, and they had fucking. As far as the eye could see,
That is
all
my
around
dream.
them, it was all theirs.
Yeah,
Like perfect.
my absolute dream.
They built a house, but it was a modular house. So
What's that?
they come in and like they just slot it together within like 2 days.
Right.
And it's like beautiful.
Expensive.
So much more cheaper than buying a house.
Really?
Yeah. I've looked into it before. But it's still expensive.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
of
still-
course.
You probably spend 200 grand.
Mm.
But
I was-
you'll spend that on a normal house.
Yeah,
And,
and
spend
then
that on a
some.
mortgage.
Yeah.
It's like...
I did look at those storage container things, and it was kind of like, it was like bottom end, like 10 grand to 35. This was in dollars as well, to 35. But then, like, if you want decent ones, you're looking at above 100,000. And like you say, like, it's okay, it's a lot of money, but
In the grand scheme of things, if you could save up and you could really work towards
Yeah.
something, if that was your goal, it's not...
And
It's
then
not
you're-
impossible.
and your day-to-day cost of living would be so much cheaper if you're getting solar panels or
Yeah, everything.
hydro, wind, whatever. You're living off the land. You have that stream of income or a couple of streams of income.
All your food's grown by yourself.
Yeah.
If you wanted it to be. If you wanted
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
down to the shops, it's not going to be like...
Yeah,
In England anyway.
Yeah.
If you go really rural, you're probably like 2 hours away from the
Yeah.
shop.
this is the thing. I'm not sure I'd want to do it in England.
That's what I'm also thinking, man. But... I don't know if like... I don't know how we can go somewhere else
Yeah.
and do it.
America's definitely the most difficult. Like, we'd still need to go through the whole
But America would be ideal.
Ideal.
Man, the most beautiful places there, man.
And apparently some of those southern states, you can get those acres and acres of land and there's zero planning permission needed. So, like, you could just do whatever on that land as soon as you buy it.
It's because that South is truly free, isn't it? Like
That is
them
honestly, like,
Texas
hand on
people,
heart.
They're just like, I'm living free, boys.
Yeah.
Like, they are just out there.
I want to
man.
meet that man.
Why? Because we're not free. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know what that feels like. That's what it feels like to be a human.
That's why...
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's why me and you look back at America so fondly, I think, because it was that freedom, wasn't it?
Yes, man.
And, like, we are seeing how the other half lives type of thing.
Yeah. Like, man, these people truly are humans.
And don't get me wrong, because we're saying it like it's a fucking utopian society out
Oh,
there. We
yeah.
we get 100% that it would be a fucking struggle. Like, there would be so many different challenges, so many things you would have to adapt to straight away. Like you're saying about, you know, those people that just jumped in with both feet and they are able to navigate it. But that is what I feel is what life's meant to be like.
Yeah, and also, man, there's a lot of fucked up people out there,
Yeah.
especially in those tiny little towns. I think, for some people that haven't had any social interaction and stuff like, they're fucked. Like, you know that my experience is going in the outback in Australia.
Mm.
That's nothing compared to... That was, like, some of the people around there were fucked.
Yeah.
But if you go into America and you go real deep, where it's like a good... Like, you're not seeing it. You can't
Yeah.
walk out of there.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, that's a different type of person. I think some people can get quite dangerous sometimes, and I think that's another thing that people don't even think about if they're going to go real off in the middle land of nowhere.
Mm.
The people that are around you, they're not like what you are used to.
Yeah.
Like, really not like what
Yeah,
you're
so
used to. They don't know what's going on in this world.
You got to have a whole new level of open-mindedness,
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, if you come in with any sort of
Yeah.
whatever,
Like
man,
preconceptions of what
yeah.
it's going to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Do you remember that guy that built, he bought that ghost town? He's got a YouTube channel, bought Ghost Town in America.
No, I didn't watch it.
Fuck.
Is
I
it
can't
good?
remember what it's called. He bought like this abandoned mining town it was somewhere in Nevada, I think, possibly very close to Las Vegas. So kind of like desert terrain. He's bought this place for not that much. I'm not sure how he got the money, but possibly some funding and things like that. And he just started doing it up. I think he lived there at one point for 6 months, just kind of doing it. Probably lived there over coronavirus. I watched a couple of his videos, and it was just blowing my mind, man.
Really?
And I was like, why am I so obsessed with this thing? And then I was like, oh yeah, he's doing exactly what the fuck he wants with nobody telling him he needs to be here, he needs to do that.
This is what me and Jess were talking about the other day. We was watching someone doing up some RVs, flipping them, selling them. And we were like, why are we really enjoying this? And we was like, this guy's just making things.
Yeah.
He's just doing what he wants. He's just like, and there's like an attraction to it, isn't there? It's like, wow, fuck, like, I'm not that person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm nowhere near that free. Or I'm nowhere near, like, I don't know that. Like, I should know those things.
Yeah. It's that fucking classic, like, American girls being like, English guys are so hot.
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, it's because it's different. It's foreign. It's, like, in the broader sense of the word, obviously. It's kind of like alien to you. That's such a good idea, that flipping RVs for people who want to live out of them, because
that's growing in popularity as well.
that is the epitome of like seeing a gap in a market and filling it, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
That's
like,
so cool.
And it's not that hard, Matt.
What to do an RV
to
up,
do it up.
once you know how to do it.
Things like making sure it doesn't rust. That's a little bit annoying, and electrics and stuff like that, which I have no idea what to do. But all like the making of the things and stuff, it's not that hard, man.
So could you sort out like a fucking Wi-Fi connection in an RV?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that's like...
I think you can. Yeah.
That'd be interesting to know. Because that's really all you need.
All you need is a fucking... a router and set it up to a thing, don't you?
Yeah, and if you've got the
Power.
electric sorted, then yeah.
Yeah. He put solar panels at the top. He put like this little reverse camera on it, and it was like this old thing, but it makes it like that bit better. And it was like, I think he's put like $3,000 into it, and he spent
that much.
and he spent $2,000 on the van, so $5,000. I don't know how much he sold it for, but I don't know. Even if it's just like $2,000 or something, if you're having fun doing it, and you don't need
That's exactly what I was thinking.
and you don't need all the fucking bills, or you haven't got to worry about all the bills like you do now, and you're off grid. Like you're just living your life doing something that you want to fucking do, man.
Would you genuinely want to do that? Would you genuinely want to buy a RV, do it up?
Yeah, man. Bad.
I think we just need to fucking make it happen then.
But at the moment we can't because
Yeah, but that's the thing with you. Always a thing.
But there is.
But
at the moment, like, we have to pay the bills, or we have to, like, I'm not making enough money to like feel comfortable doing that.
So how about this? Theoretically, say you're going off grid. Say you've got your little storage container home sorted, or you've got your plot of land at least, and you've got your space. How are you making money from the city
house.
or from the... What are your streams of income, basically? Like in an ideal world.
Ideal world, we'll keep the house back here, rent that out, so you're making a monthly income, and then you'd have a passion project like doing up RVs or building certain things, or maybe even having like catering events at your place or whatever it is.
I really like the idea of people then coming to you almost as if it's like they're fucking visiting the Amazonians, right? Because that's what we're saying the world is going to get to. It's going to get to a point where people are so different in terms of how they're living. People in the city, and like you're saying, with this generational difference now where kids are growing up without the idea of not having electronics to hand straight away, not being on social media 24/7. Whereas we kind of feel like we're one of the last generations that really experienced a proper childhood and then came into technology.
Did we say this off camera about?
We said this off camera, yeah.
Like we didn't, like, until the age of like 10 or something, we didn't have a computer in the thing.
Yeah.
So like, it's a different world. Like, if you're a kid now, you've got an iPhone in your hand from birth, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's all somewhat
Family
new
plan
to us.
on the fucking iPhones, yeah.
But now, like, we grew up. I used to grow up. I used to go to the forest. I used to fucking get muddy. My mum and dad used to let me go and do it. And We used to live
Yeah,
in
that's
like, this
because they didn't really want you.
Yeah, and we lived on a horrible estate. We used to find needles around and stuff like that. And mum and dad were just like, yeah, go do your thing, boys. Go make a fucking hut one day. And
Yeah.
we were like swinging off the trees, making swings. And it's different from what it is now. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's definitely going to be an attraction for people that have had not even one little bit of it.
To be like, let's see how they live.
Yeah, and then they come in and be like, oh, wow, they're onto something here.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, hey, we're nowhere near what this is really like. Like, we should really be fucking not having electricity.
Yeah. That's the next step.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, so that would be cool for that to be the source of income. Like, use your land for other people's experiences, like the catering you're saying, or
hunting, getting your own food, or picking your own food, stuff like that.
Sacrificing the weaker one of the group.
The children, yeah. You have to burn them over a fire. Oh, but you know what I mean, man. It's fucking like I think there's going to be such a big appeal for it.
Yeah.
But like, listen, I've never classed myself as a prepper. But now I think I'm there. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get some shit, and like, I want a fucking off-road truck. Do you know what I mean? Like, just in case, man.
Wait, have you seen those? Because
there's no more roads.
Driving through. Who's taking the roads? Have you seen those SsangYong? There's a car called SsangYong, or a car make.
Okay, I think they're quite new.
Yeah, they've got one that like looks pretty sturdy, pretty capable of doing some off road, and it's quite a reasonable price. I was looking at them the other day.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's hard with those new cars because you never really know parts. I think they're a Japanese company.
Something like that.
They've got
Japanese
great
or
wool
Korean.
over here now as well.
Oh, is that a make?
Yeah, Chinese make. Great wool. They look pretty good as well.
It's quite a cool name.
But whenever you buy Chinese made stuff, it breaks. It's just the way it is. Even with toys and things like that, it's just.
Yeah, it's not.
But if you get a Japanese one or Korean one.
You reckon they'll be?
Yeah, 100%. It's like Toyota or Hondas or whatever. They're all fucking good cars.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool to have. I mean, we both want a fucking pickup, ideally, don't we?
Yeah, I want a big pickup. I want a tent, like one of those roof tents.
Yeah. Don't they get a bit stuffy though?
Mate, you get stuffy.
Sometimes, if I'm in one of those tents.
But yeah, I don't know if they get stuffy. No, of course not.
What do you mean, of course not?
Why would they?
It's like a tiny tent that you put on the top of your...
It's not that tiny. It's like the size of...
Well, it can only be the size of the car at most.
Yeah, how big's a normal tent? It's not that big. It's enough for you to sleep in.
Is it?
That way. Yeah. Easy.
I think I'm imagining it like one of those like pods you get, those one-man pods in Japan or whatever.
Yeah. No.
Like a bit claustrophobic.
No, some of them go quite big, man. Oh, God, he's got something.
We didn't speak on the last pod about you fucking waking up on a Sunday morning looking like a creature from the deep.
Yeah, that's
because of your allergies.
I'm thinking about going off grid. I better stop having hay fever.
You can't. Do you know what it was? That long grass.
Stay out the long grass.
Yeah. That fucked
bad,
you, man.
That's bad. I think I've had it that bad when I was a kid, and that's about it. But my eyes were. I looked like I had two black eyes. They were so swollen.
You genuinely look like an insect. But I remember my brother got an allergic reaction once when we went. It's like one of his friends had like a couple of go-karts or something, and we were just driving around them in this hay field that he had out the back of his house. We came back and my brother's reactions kicked in and his entire face just puffed up, and it's honestly scarred me for life. I was looking at him like, oh my God, like, you're going.
Really?
Like, we've lost you, yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah. And, your face reminded me a little bit like that. But when I woke up, I was obviously kind of like a bit groggy, like half awake, and I looked through like the netting of the tent from my compartment to the centre one, and I was like, oh, fucking hell, Toad looks knackered, what's going on? Got out into the light, and I was like, oh shit, he's
fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad, man.
That was terrible. I'm so surprised that you were able to drive.
Yeah, man, there was a few times it was close.
Yeah.
Because your eyes like shutting because they're like so swollen.
Yeah.
So I was like fighting.
Sweet relief.
And then as soon as we had a coffee, it was alright.
Yeah. Where were we?
Off
Oh,
grid.
yeah, in the tents on top of the pickup.
Yeah, I would like to have one of those fucking things on top, and like I was watching this other thing. He's got a pickup truck, and you pull like you had like these big trays where you just pull out, and you could put whatever you want in the back of the trays. So in the back of the pickup truck, he had like these 2 compartments that he pulled out, which led into 3 compartments. He had a gas stove. He had a fucking
That's
water
ingenious.
with tap going on there and stuff. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, amazing. Like if I had one of those things, I just want to feel like I've got
You've got your own
in
shit,
case,
and
I've got my own thing. In case everything, I'll use just your stuff. But
yeah,
if anything goes wrong, I'm the
good.
man you want to be with.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's like I don't know. Maybe I'm just diving way too much into the psychology of it. But do you think it's like a manly thing,
Yeah, there's definitely an element of that.
being able to like provide?
100%. Because you get too soft, and some people are okay with it, and some people aren't.
God, why are people so okay with it?
Because it's just convenient for some people, and some people kind of like a bit of a challenge more, right? But
Yeah.
I often think that I want to be challenged, and I want to be like forced into situations where you have to adapt and learn new skills and whatever. So that would just, I mean, it does just appeal to me so much.
Yeah, man. I think we've got to do it. But what do we need to do? We need to save up a lot of money. Imagine if we bought some land. Yeah, this is the thing. Land. We're talking about if you want a big, nice bit of land, put about 100 grand, and then you want maybe 3 places on it. Me, you, Jess on it, whatever. Whoever's there.
Yeah.
You'd want 3 separate little compartments, maybe
Yeah.
two containers each.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you could have you have your family in there because this is long term. Like if you think about it long term, you want 2 compartments, enough room to be bound, and then if you want some more room eventually, you just add another compartment to it. Do that one
Pop
up.
it on top.
Man, have a little staircase going up there. It'd be sick, man.
I'd really want to do it. Or like Canada, maybe. America,
Yeah,
Canada.
would be sick because you can like live off the land out there.
Proper, yeah.
That's something else. You need to be smart about where you put these things, because if you're going off grid and you're thinking about, I'm doing this for preparation if things go south, which I think most people go off grid for,
Yeah.
you need somewhere where you can survive. Because if you go put it in the middle of a desert somewhere, you're not surviving.
You're fucked, yeah.
You're fucked.
Relying on aircon and yeah.
You need somewhere where you can grow your own food. You can have some, or you can go hunting.
Yeah. But this is what I think. Like, surely we talk about America being so difficult to get into in terms of like a visa and living there and stuff. But surely, if you're pumping money into the economy through like,
Oh yeah, I think if you have a business over there and you can employ a certain amount of people,
Yeah.
of US citizens, yeah, they just let you in.
but then even if you're spending your own money on like, I don't know, a fucking construction team or whatever.
It's only temporary, isn't it? It's just that's how they look about it.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, yeah, what, you employ them for 6 weeks and then what?
Yeah. Yeah, so you really would need that idea of like people coming to you to stay. You employ a couple of people to help out. Yeah. What kind of experiences would you do? So you'd have the food, the hunting, you'd have some kind of like cleansing, I guess.
Oh, yeah. that
Because
would be
that's the
sick.
whole
Like
idea
some
of the concept.
meditative
Yeah.
mushroom trip.
Yeah, just trip everyone the fuck out.
Man, this is sick. I love nature. Yeah, but fucking you would. You'd do something like that, some sort of retreat.
I think we should employ Jess as like a shaman.
Yeah, alright then. He'll just sit there shirtless, just
Doesn't say a word for the whole like 5 days that they're there.
Yeah, and at the end he just goes. It just like gives them their.
Sends them on their way.
Yeah, there's loads of things you could do, man, and people would love to do it.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Oh, have you been out to Matt and Toby's place?" And we'll just be there living.
What did the other person say? Said, I've heard it's a shithole, so no.
And they say, "Oh, well, you must not like nature." Yeah, man. But listen, I really want to talk to some more people that
Yeah.
have gone off grid and are living it right this second.
I think that's you're right. That's the first step we need to do, because we're looking at it from like the outside in. So we're always a bit like, well, what the fuck's the first step to do? How do we get there? Blah blah. We need money, and then maybe we just need somebody to turn around and be like, look,
Yeah.
boom boom boom.
Yeah, and I think everyone's like people that are thinking about it. Everyone would be love to hear from somebody.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
You don't normally see it.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't know that they like. You just see like this romanticized vision of it. Like, hey, yeah, I'll just wake up next to hear the birds and. No, where's your fucking next meal coming from? You know what I mean? Like, people need to know, like,
Yeah.
It's quite serious out there.
I mean, there's still a bit of a stigma attached to it as well, isn't there? Like, there's still a bit of this like nut job element that fucking hell, like he's renovated a van.
Yeah. I think it's slowly changing.
It definitely is.
Because it used to be like, oh, this guy's a fucking weirdo. But
Yeah.
No, not anymore. I don't think. I think most people are like, oh, that's cool.
Mm. Or maybe that's just what we see.
Yeah, maybe. All right, then, listen, let's wrap this up. But that was a good chat about off-grid. If we can get some more people in, everyone's going to learn about off-grid. We'll go off-grid. Everyone will have our own little commune. People will come out to see us, do the pod with us, do some renovation with us, go trip on mushrooms. Solved. Life solved.
We made it.
Romeo, done.